Hi there, listener. You're about to experience TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games, and there will be plenty of game talk, but also copious amounts of crude, off-color, offensive, and immature speech. So if you are of a rather sensitive humor constitution, we're just letting you know what you're in for with this show. It has games. It has jokes. You know, just games and jokes. Take the games, take the jokes, and have a good time.
Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
Before we start the show, I'd like to thank Megalixir for providing the intro song to this episode, which is a Donkey Kong Country 3 medley.
Ooh, a medley.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds great.
It is. Well, we're about to hear it, so buckle up.
Ooh, putting the buckles on.
If you'd like to, I'll also play the full track at the end of the show. You can listen to the full thing there, and also, hopefully we'll have a link to the track in the show notes at tadpog.com.
Yeah, check them out.
Did you get a haircut or something?
No, nothing's changed.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another Original Flavor Wednesday TADPOG podcast, a weekly show where two old guys talk about old games. I'm your bearded host, Tyler, and sort of in reference to today's game, I have a story involving a monkey anecdote.
All right.
A monkey story, but not involving an actual monkey.
Do you have your testicles still? You're not the guy from the news, are you?
When I don't remember how old I was exactly, but I do remember it was when Hurricane Hugo was hitting the States.
Yeah.
So that's your frame of reference for time-wise. I was pretty young. We were renting a house while we were building a house, and we had my birthday, and my aunt had bought me like a stereo with a cassette player, and they recorded a song for me. And I remember my whole family is here for my birthday party, and they hand me the stereo, and I hit play, and it's them saying happy birthday to me. And whenever happy birthday to you, blah, 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 at the end, they're like, and you look like a monkey. I flipped the fuck out in the middle of my birthday party. I remember I threw the stereo, and I just started screaming and crying, and that they were just jerks and they didn't love me. And I ran back into the house, and there was this weird little alcove in my room that my parents didn't know about. I could only fit in it because I was so little, but I would crawl through these little...
You're like Dobby.
Exactly. And I remember I crawled up because you would go under something and over something and around something. It was like this little place. It was an old weird house.
Yeah, it sounds pretty fucked up.
And I crawled back there, and I got in there, and I just cried. I just got there, I just cried because I thought I looked like a monkey. And
meanwhile, you climbed like a monkey to get where you are. I just cried and ate bananas.
And I stayed back there for the rest of my birthday party. It was well until it was at night. They saw me run into the house. They just couldn't find me. But my cousin, who was my age and my size,
who was also a monkey.
She was a monkey.
Is this the one that you pushed down into the gravel?
Yes.
All right.
It was Lynn. Lynn, she found me. She was the only one that could fit through the spaces and she found me, went in there. She gave me a hug and pet my head. She's like, I don't think you look like a monkey. I think you're a very handsome boy. And then I finally came out.
That kind of reminds me, I'm Dave, your bespectacled host, and I have a jungle-related story. When I was probably about 6 or 7 years old, I had this reoccurring dream. It was a wonderful dream where a panther would come to my window, and he would tap on the window, and I would wake up and get out of bed. It was one of those dreams that always felt real because it started in bed. It started with me waking up. So I wake up to this panther tapping on the window, and I open it.
Mowgli.
Yeah. I'm like, what, panther? And he talks to me. He's like, you need to come to the jungle with me. It'll be fun there. I'm like, all right, we're going. And I climb out the window, and I crawl on his back, and he would run me to the jungle.
That's good.
And then,
that.
I'd always wake up immediately after we got to the jungle. I wake up in real life and then like look out the window and be really disappointed there was no panther there.
Or that was the panther telling you like the adventure life is the real adventure, and that's where he's taking you.
What are we doing?
Well,
What do we do on this show?
we tend to play through IGN's top 100 Super Nintendo games.
Yeah, do we talk about them here?
Well, sometimes. That's the goal. That's the intention. Whether or not it happens is completely by coincidence.
I've got this thought cloud here, this word bubble. What we do is sometimes a little bit of this.
What we do is penis, masturbate, misogyny. Those are the biggest words. Games. There we go.
Buttholes. The butthole ratio.
Buttholes, apparently.
Yeah.
We'll get to that later. But this week, we're not talking like we've already stated on Side Pig Monday. I guess that's the name.
Or Sad Pig. I don't know.
Sad Pig, Side Pig.
Who knows?
Pig
It depends
sides.
on whether or not Megalixer makes that theme song. Because that's the only thing that's going to solidify the name of Monday's show.
So we're not talking about anything we've been playing. This is strictly about
Nope.
IGN's 58th ranked Super Nintendo game, Donkey Kong Country 3,
Colon. Dixie Kong's Double Trouble.
Okay, well there's no.
So that's done.
We're not doing what we've been playing, so we're just gonna pinch our noses and dive right in.
Did you play this game as a kid?
This was the one I played it a little bit, just a little bit. I didn't like it very much then, and spoilers for this episode, I don't like it very much now. I am a huge fan of the Donkey Kong series, though.
Yeah,
I
oh, yeah.
love the first one. I just love the second one. Mm-hmm. This one is
Diddy Kong's Quest.
Diddy's Kong. Yeah,
Second one.
that's good. This isn't a bad game exactly. It's not a terrible game, but it's got some big shoes to fill in Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2.
Yeah, compared to the other two games, there's a long shadow in the Kong verse.
So before we get started, I don't know if that's Trainsy I'm hearing or
No?
or it's a very distinctly different kind of train.
I don't hear.
It sounds weird.
Yeah, it's just moaning and. Oh, not that train.
No,
Not the key party going on.
Not the
in
mystery
other room.
train number 3 that we don't talk about.
Yeah, I think I hear that train coming as well. All right, guys. Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble. I'm sorry, actually, there's an exclamation at the end, so let me try that again. Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble
That was nice.
is a platform game developed by Rare and published by Nintendo and was the final installment in the Donkey Kong Country series until Nintendo announced Retro Studios would be reviving the series for the Wii. Donkey Kong Country Returns, which I own but have not played. So
I want to play it too, so whenever you're done with
all right,
it.
well we can play it together. We
Yeah.
can do co-op if you
Because
want.
that
I'm sure
one,
it's
for Christmas, I want to get the one for 3DS. It
Nice.
looks good. It looks very classic.
I didn't know there
style.
was one for the 3DS. I will also need to check this out. They actually Donkey Kong Country 3 they ported to Game Boy Advance. I don't know if you remember that. I didn't.
I don't know that either. Donkey Kong 64, that's not a Donkey Kong Country game. Is that different?
They don't have it listed as part of the series. So I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Because I never owned an N64. This came out in late 1996 for the Super Nintendo, and it was ported to Game Boy Advance in 2005. I think, you had mentioned N64. I think that was one of the big criticisms about this game is that it came out so late in the Super Nintendo lifespan that I think it only came out a few months before N64 came out.
Oh,
so
yeah,
people
so no
really
wonder.
didn't give a shit about it.
Yeah, they're saving up their money for that Sweet N64 and Mario 64.
Yeah.
I remember I had, Shake gave it to me. He got it with one of his gaming magazine subscriptions, a VHS tape that was the making of Mario 64.
Wow.
And like he was so fucking psyched about it. 'Cause remember we'd both watch it over and over again at my house, where the guy in the suit running into walls and shit like that, and people talking. And I think back then it was still called the Ultra 64.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it wasn't actually Nintendo 64 yet. I was pretty upset when they changed it to Nintendo. I was like, Ultra 64 sounds so much cooler.
Yeah, well, it does. That's like, what was the Wii before it was called the Wii? Do you recall? It had a much better name, like the Revolution or something like that.
Yeah.
Wasn't that it?
Yeah, it was something. It was something like that. It was a better name than the Wii.
That's awful. I can't remember that. That hasn't been that long ago.
And the same for the Wii U. I'm sure had a much cooler product name.
Have you checked YouTube to see if that VHS tape has made its way onto the interwebs?
No, I need to. Because I had totally forgotten about it until just this very moment. But okay, Donkey Kong Country 3.
Yeah.
So the Donkey Kong series.
Let's get solemn here.
Donkey Kong and so two Kongs of various talents and skills play through a country.
I just remembered something.
Okay.
I should have used this for my intro story. Can I do a little section called Dave would like to apologize? All right.
Oh God, you can always apologize.
I would like to apologize because when I was in middle school, there was a girl who I thought looked like a gorilla.
You don't tell people look like monkey stain.
I
Don't
know.
do it.
Apparently, it's very, very hurtful. So I'd like to apologize to this girl whom her last name is Kramer, and I would call her Kramer Kong. So Kramer Kong, I'm very, very sorry if you're listening. Please leave us a 5-star review, Kramer Kong. And I know there are people listening who know who I'm talking about. So yeah, sorry about that. Okay, on with the show. That was a good segment.
So in this one, the torch has been passed from Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong, and then you are Diddy Kong and Dixie Kong, and now you are Dixie Kong and I don't remember the name of the baby.
Kitty Kong.
Kitty Kong. That's flag number 1.
What?
that you are a baby Kong named Kitty Kong.
What's wrong with that?
Come on.
What's wrong with that?
Come on, no.
And you're in little blue footy pajamas
God.
and you cry. It's funny how, like, I remember when this game came out, I remember thinking, this is such a baby game. What's fucked up is I played this game this week. I'm 32 years old and I was like, God, this is a baby game.
I think it's the most challenging of all the Donkey Kongs.
I didn't finish it. Let me just go ahead and a little segment called Dave Confesses. I didn't fucking finish this game. You did, right?
I did, and it was so, it was not fun. It was not fun for me to do at all. At the last few cabin parties, David Dykes has played through all the Donkey Kongs.
Right.
And I remember, usually he would finish up each one, and he wouldn't be happy. He would just kind of put on the controller angry. And he was very frustrated after this one, and I totally get why, because when I was done, I wasn't relieved. I just threw my controller down, just happy to walk away.
It's like a good breakup.
Yeah. It's just no divorce is like a bad divorce. So this was just, man, to get through it in a timely manner and not want to kill myself. I had to cheat a little bit on some levels. I had to
Tyler.
pull out the old Game Genie and turn invincibility for some certain levels.
Game Genie kept the gun out of your mouth.
Yep. Because oh my God. And there were plenty of levels where it didn't matter invincibility was on or not. Because there were a few key levels I was like, okay, fuck this. Turn on invincibility did not make a difference. I just had to barrel through it.
Make a difference?
I remember one of the bosses, the Mykonos boss, like the large rockets.
I didn't get to that one.
His hits would still kill you, invincibility or not. And
wow.
There were a few levels where any sort of non-standard projectile will ignore anything the Game Genie has to help you out. So you don't want to throw your, kill yourself, burn your house down, and walk away as it explodes.
You want to get the gun out of Dixie Kong's mouth?
Yeah. I talk about it like it's just the worst thing ever. It's not.
Yeah.
It just made me so frustrated. It's strictly its own merits. It's not awful.
I think it's from what I played, I thought it was a decent game. Mm-hmm. It was just really, really had a problem living up to the other two games.
Yes.
If I hadn't played those two games, which I know are great, those are amazing Super Nintendo games.
Yeah.
I probably would have had no problems with Donkey Kong Country 3.
And the thing is, when I turned it on, there's so much shit going on that I don't understand. Because you've got bonus tokens, you've got bear tokens, bonus tokens, bear tokens, more
DK.
trade item, DK coins, banana birds that you have to free.
Right.
And all these who the fuck are these bears? Why are
They're
there
the brothers bear, Tyler.
There are so many bears, and the text just the text in this game is just like, oh, we'll just add it in post. Fuck it, because it's
We're
just
doing it live.
yeah. There's no like if there was a speech bubble or something. I remember there being a lot of dialogue in any Donkey Kong before. It wasn't that necessary.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
Or it might
a few
be at the
lines.
bottom in
Right.
white or something like
Right.
that. Now it's at the top and is in different colors, so it's hard to read. It's poorly translated and written, and they try to have conversations. You don't know which Kong is speaking,
Right.
and there's no differentiation on who it is. Like at least in the other Donkey Kongs, if you go up to Cranky, Cranky's the only one talking.
Right.
So you know what's going on.
Right.
The Kongs in this one will have conversations, and you have no idea what's
Who's
going on.
saying what?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, you know, you remove one of those little layers of polish, and all of a sudden it's automatically not held in the same standards as a regular Donkey Kong game.
Do you like Simon?
I love Simon. So I love freeing the banana bird.
Yeah, because the
Yeah.
free, just random places you would go up and you would enter a game of Simon on crystals.
Yeah, you'd
and
go
then,
into a cave and there'd be colored crystals like Simon. There's the red, blue, yellow, and green. And then they would chime and light up and you would have to enter it in on your gamepad.
Yep. And then when you did, then there'd be an explosion and a banana that's flying around would come out and they would turn around and Dixie and Kitty would turn around and cheer.
And fuck it. I mean, yeah, cheer.
Fuck that banana. And Dixie, I guess she's different in that she's a Kong with green eyes, but really it makes her look like a Muppet. Because the others still look like the pixelated Kongs. She looks like a Muppet puppet. Like, like the Kermit arms going up, yay, we got a banana bird. This game,
You don't want to play Muppet Kong Country?
if
I would play that.
I would play a Muppet game like that, yeah.
I'd love a first-person shooter Muppet game.
Kermit's Country, 2Ks, yeah. I'm a sucker for 2K alliteration. So, and the worlds, in the other two, you progress through lots of levels and you go to dramatically different worlds. You'll
Right.
fly on barrel planes and stuff like this. This game is a lot different in that one of the Kongs, because the Kong family gets bigger and bigger. So now you've got lots of different Kongs that you've never heard of before.
Are they all
plus all the bears?
They can't all be related, by the way. This has bugged the shit out of me for the longest
It's a
time.
very incestuous Kong family.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, the Lannister Kongs. They're we should just go ahead and call this Lannister cast because
We make
there's
a
like a
lot of
Lannister
Lannister.
reference every episode. Spoiler free. But okay, Donkey Kong is what? He's a gorilla, right?
Yes.
Diddy Kong is he's just a monkey.
Yeah, because I know he's not maybe he's a chimpanzee.
Because he has a tail, which is where I get a problem with the
Okay.
Kongs because they can't all be related because one's a gorilla and another's completely different species.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know. Let's check in with Darwin.
Because Dixie and Diddy are clearly they're probably related.
Right.
And then, but yeah, Kitty and all the other Kongs that Cranky and then now there's an old woman who likes to exercise. Wrinkly Kong.
Well, can we tell everybody how you save in this game?
You have to go you go to Wrinkly Kong,
Where does she live?
a cave.
Wrinkly's cave. And I laughed my ass off when I first fired it up and I was like, Wrinkly's save cave? Seems legit. And that's where she keeps all the banana birds you free. She keeps them in her cave. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Do
she's
you know?
flying no. I don't know why they're there, what purpose they serve.
I
think there's a real ending,
Yes.
a different ending.
There's a 100% completed ending, which I haven't seen.
That sounds awful to me.
that
That sounds so awful to me.
Did you get 100% in the first two?
No.
Because I did. I played the fuck out of those
Damn.
games. I loved them so much, but I couldn't see myself. I couldn't finish Donkey Kong Country 3 this week. Not because I didn't enjoy it. It's just because, let's be honest, I would rather play Super House of the Dead Ninjas.
Yeah. Or a lot of other games.
Right? But not Lion King.
See that because
Oh,
when I
God.
told you that you were like you understood, but thought I was being extreme when I compared this to the Lion King.
I still think you're being extreme.
I said that, and then an hour later, I got to a level of this game that has barrels going down waterfalls. You have to jump from barrel to barrel. So the same awful thing that I hated about Lion King came back again in this game because the control I mean, Donkey Kong requires some solid reflexes.
Yeah.
And it needs to have tight controls.
Sure.
I think they're a little loose in that each Kong plays a little differently.
Yeah, and that causes a problem when, like, I know, especially I had a problem with stomping on the rats in the mills. It seemed like if I jumped, like, their hitbox is larger than they are. Or rather, I would jump and clearly not land on them or on their teeth or whatever, and I would die. And
Same for the alligators that would do the Tigger bouncing on their tails.
Yes. Where it just felt a little off by like a few pixels where it's like, no, clearly those sprites didn't even fucking touch.
So it's just this where the controls are a little loose, not as tight as they could be in any of the Donkey Kongs, but I feel like this is where they're the worst.
Yeah.
And then it just I'm probably in a minority when I say that I really like the cart levels in Donkey Kong. I like the mine carts. I like
do too.
there are only like 1 or 2 in this whole game.
I got to like World 4, which is kind of weird because you don't have to do them in a specific order. But I got to Mykonos, and I got a few levels into there before I stopped playing. And I don't think I encountered a single cart level on
I
rails.
remember one on Mykonos where you were on these. It was like a metal torpedo you were on where you would jump from level up and down. And it's like, I feel like that was kind of a hallmark. I remember Donkey Kong Country 1, Stop
man.
and Go and Minecart Madness and shit like that.
Yeah.
And
What was it? Red light, green light?
oh
all that?
god, the crocodiles
Yeah.
I feel like that was kind of a hallmark, and it's gone in this game. I can only say the best way I can qualify Donkey Kong Country 3 compared to the others in gameplay, creativity, sound effects, music. It feels like the soul is just gone.
Yeah, I mean
It's just an impersonation without any of the love behind it.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I can get behind that a little bit. I don't think it's completely soulless. I think that there are some good qualities still about this game. And it just felt like they didn't hit on all of the hallmarks. Like, for example, the animal friends are still in the game, or some of them are. It's
I ain't
just...
throwing it too much.
Yeah, do you? I
do.
I think they're a little lacking in...
Well, the ones that you can ride, like there aren't enough in levels for them to aid you.
Right.
But there are so many levels where you're only the animal.
Yeah, you're just the animal.
For like, I can see where it's a cool thing every now and then, but you do it a lot.
Yeah.
And you fight bosses as the animals. Like you fight more bosses as the animals than you do as the Kongs. And that I don't dig that.
There aren't many animals to choose from either. I feel like in the other games there were more, but maybe I'm just crazy. Has there always just been 4?
'Cause no, I feel like Donkey Kong Country 1, because they have the frog, the ostrich, the rhino, the swordfish.
That may have been it.
I guess that
for
was
the first
it.
one. I know in the second one they had the parrot that spit coconuts, right? Mm-hmm. And then the
had the
ostrich was
spider?
still in it. Yeah, spider. Because I remember that level. I can't remember what it's called in the second one there, where you're the parrot and you have to go through that thorn maze. Did you ever play that one?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. But in this one, yeah, because I don't remember whose name I remember is On Guard.
On Guard, the swordfish.
So On Guard is in it. The elephant,
Ellie the elephant.
You're a
And
cute elephant.
She's new. I didn't like her.
because she runs from rats.
Yo, that level.
very
There's a level
frustrating.
that I hate. And that's the one where I kept noticing if you jump on the wrong part of the rat, or if you were off by a few pixels, you'd instantly die.
Mm-hmm.
It's there because, if a rat scurried out in front of Ellie, she would just run away. You'd lose control of her and she'd run away.
Yeah. So, I mean, I get what they were trying to do, but it was just, as opposed to being kind of a cute character thing, it was just really frustrating.
Yep. The spider makes a return. Mm-hmm. What's his Squitter? I think is his name.
That sounds right.
He is, I think, the best
Yeah.
animal because he's got all kinds of different things he
The
can do.
webs and the platforms and
He can shoot enemies with webs to kill them, or like you said, make platforms in midair out of webs. That's cool. And then there's a new one.
there's a green parrot and a purple parrot.
Oh, I didn't know there was more than one parrot.
The purple parrot just can't shoot coconuts.
Well, there is that Perry the parallel bird?
Sounds right.
I think this is like the most contrived animal friend of all Donkey Kongdom. is that Donkey Kongdom. That sounds like Durex
Yeah.
should license that. The Donkey Kongdom.
It looks like Donkey Kong's tie when you unroll it and put it on.
Oh shit. Yeah, the Perry the Parallel Bird, which his ability was you bust him out of a barrel and he just flies above you.
That guy.
Yeah.
That's another bird. Okay, I'm not talking about the purple parrot. Yeah, there's the guy who'd fly above you and gather stuff for you. Yeah.
That one missed the mark a little bit for me because I was like, not a really useful.
He would just help
animal.
you reach like the K's, the O, the N, and the G when you just quite couldn't, or he would knock fat birds out of the air that would drop banana bunches or whatever. That's it.
I'm glad you mentioned the letters that you collect, the K, O, N, and G throughout the level to earn an extra life. Did you feel like they were super easy to collect in this game?
Yep, no problem.
Because I remember
I got it at every level
in
almost.
the first one, those felt like they were really hard to get. Like it was pretty rare for me to come out of a level with an extra life from spelling out Kong.
See, because they've crammed so much shit into Donkey Kong Country 3. It's like, we don't have any places to hide the Kong letters anymore. Between the bonus barrels to get the bonus coins, and you got the crocodiles that are holding the Donkey Kong coins that you have to trick into hitting and getting the Donkey Kong coin. I didn't get very many.
Yeah.
I didn't care. When I was playing it, I was like, I'm not going for 100% completion. I do not give a shit. I'm not trying to get anything. So I just barreled through bare minimum, just trying to get to the end.
But see, I played it the same way. If we were kids, we wouldn't be playing it that way.
Right.
Like if back in the day, I probably would have. This would have been a game where I probably would have gotten 100% completion. Just like
But you would have gotten a lot of mileage out of it.
because that's what I did with the first two. Because I didn't own so many Super Nintendo games, I just replay the ones that I had.
And I can't say like I wish it was longer because I didn't like it very much, but it's the shortest Donkey Kong. Because I feel like you go like there are really only, I think there are 4 or 5 different worlds, and it's kind of and they're all very obvious. Like the world itself is very small. You just ride your jet ski around to a little thing that has like 5 levels, 4 levels in it, and you go to the other one. You've got the boss, and the bosses, some are okay, and then some I think are awful. Like the boss of the first stage, the burping barrel.
Yeah.
I like that. I was behind that. I thought that was creative.
Other than the fact that he's a giant barrel, yeah, that threw me off a little bit. I don't want I don't want simple constructs in my Donkey Kongs. Because yeah, he's a giant barrel that spits smaller barrels at you.
And then when you throw a barrel in his mouth, he chomps on it and eats it, and then burps.
and flies backwards.
And yeah, you have to knock him off.
Until he burps until he flies off the back of the ledge. I like that.
It's very Yoshi's Island. It's a Yoshi's Island kind of boss.
Which I've never played. I'm really looking forward to playing Yoshi's Island because I've always heard great things about it. Also one that I thought was a baby game, so didn't play when it was new.
I can understand that.
Thought it was a baby game, didn't play it.
Let's see. I thought one of the worst bosses in the game was the snowman.
I didn't fight that one.
You have a snowball fight with the snowman.
No, I wish everyone could see the look on your face.
Because he has a tie with like a flashing red light on it. And you choose if you're going to throw it at the upper column or the lower column. And he drops down like it's like a carnival game where he drops down and pops up and throws a snowball at you, and you have to try to aim for him and throw one and hit him on his flashing tie. And he hits Dixie, and then Kitty comes out, he hits Kitty, and it's over. And you have to hit him several times, and eventually like...
Well, he's a snowman. You would think he would be better at throwing snowballs than
why
a
you got
couple
the
of monkeys.
That's true. Well, they're used to throwing shit, so I can see it evens out.
But shit's very warm and snow is cold. So they're at least taking a -2 to hit.
And eventually he bends over and he fires out of his top hat huge snowballs, and you have
Could
to
have gone either way. I was like,
he bends over and just fires out snowballs from his top hat.
Butt plugs.
But yeah, you beat him, and you get, of course, like the bonus coin. I'm unsure. Like, I know you can use the bear coins you get to go to various bear shops and buy
bear things
and
to sell to other bears.
It's just they're so poorly animated. They look like the bear jamboree or whatever.
Yeah.
God, it's so awful.
They do look really bad.
How does the third of an iconic series look so bad? Because you walk in, they're all they just color it differently.
Yeah,
they're all on the same side of their shop. Their hands are stuck out in front of them.
Their eyes are so big.
It's how I drew people when I was in elementary school. Only they're bears.
But you have to admit, the brothers Bear. That's a pretty solid name.
It's a solid name.
Solid name. Like that would be a good, like Tyler, if you and I started a folk band, I would like to be called the Brothers Bear.
Okay, done. Let's see. Did you get to the spider boss?
Yes, I did get to the spider
giant
boss.
I thought that was
you have to fight as Ellie, the elephant, right?
No, that's the waterfall boss. That you have to
Oh,
fight
that's
as
right,
Ellie.
because he's like a crab or something back behind the waterfall.
Or a slug or something
yeah,
like
something
that.
like
Yeah.
that. Lady Sonate's summon. Yeah, refresh me on the spider, because maybe I didn't do that one.
Because you fight him as the Kongs, and he drops down, and you have to throw the barrels
barrel
up
up?
into his face.
Yes.
Yeah, or just hold it up and he'll drop onto it.
That one took me a long time to figure out because
Yeah.
there's really no indication of where you have to hit him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you can bounce off him at certain spots,
Right,
and then
off his
certain spots will
legs.
kill you.
Yeah. And it's like you'll throw a barrel against him. It's really through a process of elimination I had to figure out where it's like, okay, well, I'm throwing it against the legs. That's not working. Let me try the head. No. Okay, maybe the body. That was it. When you mentioned throwing the snowballs, I have a question for you since you finished the game and I did not. There are mini games in this game where you throw rocks at targets. Did you play any of those?
I didn't look for the bonus barrels, so what I got was mostly like get these green bananas that would phase in and out of different places, or catch all the stars.
Well, these are the ones on the overworld. Did you do any of Swanky Kong's games?
Oh yes, okay. I did one Swanky Kong game.
Damn, I was hoping you did more because I did all of them that I found up until like World 4, and they're all the same game. I didn't understand, like, are there more games? Because I go there and you have 3 options. You can do like a head-to-head or a timed or an endurance round. And I would select each one and it was the same game where you are one of the Kongs and the camera's behind your shoulder and you're throwing rocks. It's like a shooting gallery, but you're throwing rocks at parrots, cardboard parrots or whatever that pop up. And you're up against Cranky Kong. He's doing the same thing. That's always what it is. On like all 3 options, that's what you do. When you find Swanky Kong in other worlds, it's the same game. It just seemed weird because it seemed like there would be other games, right?
It seems like there would be, yeah. But
But
did
it's
it
the
once.
same exact thing, the same time. Why not just have them one place? Why not? Why have them all over the world when it's exactly
and
the
where
same?
it's easily for you to go from back to worlds, just getting your jet
Yeah,
ski or
just getting
whatever,
your vehicle.
your rowboat, and then your hoverboard, and then
Well, it was
your
a motorboat. I remember
motorboat.
specifically
Okay.
because I laughed out loud when I read it. Because that's like one of the first things of the game. Is like you just walk into Funky Kong's garage and there's just motorboat is lit largely on his walls, and I'm just
You want a motorboat? Oh, hey, take Kitty Kong.
right.
So, okay, sure.
It is
Thanks, man.
completely shoehorned when you get kitty corn. When you get Kitty Kong, because it's like you said, it's literally that. You talk to Funky Kong and he's like, "Hey, this kid's been hanging around my shop. He can help you out."
The developers had to be like, oh, we want to do N64 games. Why are we doing this? just fucking roll something out. It's just put
do
something
it.
out, and we're gonna move on to Donkey Kong 64, Mario 64. Like, who cares about this anymore?
Are you familiar with the story of Donkey Kong Country 3?
No,
Because I wasn't either. And
it
maybe
doesn't really tell you.
Maybe
so-
I missed it. Maybe it's somewhere. I don't know. I had to look it up. At the start of the game, Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong have disappeared. They were on a fishing trip. I'm going to go ahead and put that in air quotes. They were on a fishing trip.
If they were like picking bananas, that's a little more calm.
Oh, they were picking bananas, Tyler. They were picking bananas.
Yeah.
So they disappear. And Dixie Kong sets off to find them. And she is joined by her cousin, which I didn't realize.
Okay.
Her cousin, Kiddy Kong. Initially, Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong appear to have been kidnapped by a mysterious robot named Chaos. But later in the game, it is revealed that King K. Rool, going by the new moniker Baron K. Rulenstein, is the real mastermind.
Very 90s.
Yes. So is that the case, Tyler? Spoilers, can you tell me how this game ends?
It ends because you go, world to world. And it being said, the last three, I mentioned this to you earlier, the last three stages in this game are some of the just most frustrating bullshit levels I have ever encountered in any video game.
And you don't mean worlds, you mean levels.
Levels.
Individual levels.
The levels leading up to the castle. Like the other ones are kind of cool. So I remember Donkey Kong Country 1, you see that ship in the background. I think, that's cool. And then when you actually go there for the final battle, oh, awesome.
Yes.
No lead up on this one. You're just working to get in that big castle and then you're there. But the last three stages, ugh. And then when you actually get to the castle,
wait. Before we get to the castle, what's so bad about those three stages?
Okay, the worst level in the game is called Ride 'em Lightning or something like that. It's a stage where it's raining outside and lightning is striking.
So it's like Final Fantasy X.
Exactly.
What is it? The lightning field or whatever?
Yeah, where you have to get where you get Lulu's onion knife for dodging them 100 times. I would rather, that is easier. It is easier to dodge 100 lightning strikes than get through this fucking stage.
In real life.
Calibrate the lightning towers. Far more fun.
Fuck it, we're doing it.
Because it's, as you go through, lightning just strikes. And if it strikes you, it kills you. If it strikes the water as you're trying to cross it, it kills you. So it's just, you might get a second of response for the screen flashing before.
How do you dodge it? What do you do?
You have to either
jump or something.
If you see the lightning, if you catch because you're trying to go through and there's still rain and there's still enemies. So if you see the lightning flash and you manage to get out of the way, it felt so unpredictable where it was going to strike. Because I would just be walking and then all of a sudden I'm dead. I'm walking. All right, I get back to that same place. Then I back off a second.
You need some.
The lightning strikes. I'm like, okay, I missed it. Then another one comes out and I'm dead.
You need some performance enhancement. You need some Ritalin.
Clearly. Something. Because it was, you have to if you get under enemies, the enemies would take it and they would die in your place.
Oh, there are lots
of floating bees.
Yeah.
So if you're in an open area, you're kind of fucked. But if you can time it and wait for a bee to strike and then just run like mad and hope you get to the next, find the save barrel or something like that before lightning strikes again. Just trying to hurry and be lucky and try to catch the flashes and kind of learn roundaboutly where they'll strike. A lot of times it'll strike on ledges where you're having to jump up. So if your timing's not fucking perfect as you progress through the level,
you're done.
You're just done.
Fuck.
And then the barrels are very far apart, so if you fall in the water as you're jumping from barrel to barrel, if you fall into the water,
it'll slow you down.
It's going to take you, it's going to slow you down long enough. It doesn't matter where the lightning hits. If you're in water and lightning comes down, you're dead.
Well, I like that.
But it's just...
That's cool.
It took me 2 hours doing this one stage just over and over.
Jeez.
It's right in front of a save cave. So you can just reload, rinse and repeat until it was just trial and frustration, not fun.
Do you mind if I do a little tangent here?
Mm-hmm.
Talking about lightning in games in Final Fantasy X and Donkey Kong Country 3 has got me thinking. I played on a persistent world on Neverwinter Nights. Mm-hmm. And I remember my favorite thing about that was there would be weather effects in this game. And sometimes when it rained, there would be thunderstorms. And if your character was out in a thunderstorm, there was a chance, it would randomly generate whether or not lightning would strike you. And they were based on, from what I understand, actual odds of being struck by lightning. And what would happen is, because I saw it happen once, which is weird in its own right. But because in Neverwinter, it would show you like mechanically what's going on.
Yeah.
Someone got struck by lightning, and I saw they made a fortitude save because the game had them roll a fortitude save automatically for being struck by lightning, and they failed it and just died just right out there in the field.
Shit.
So anyway, there's my lightning story.
That's interesting. That is interesting. And you don't have to go outside in a thunderstorm. You're fine to stay inside. You can opt out. You can't opt out of this fucking level.
Well, yeah, and I think they did it because they wanted you to do stuff in town because there was stuff to do in the town.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's why thunderstorms were a little more common on that persistent world, is because they wanted you to they encouraged you to role play like in taverns and stuff.
I can dig that.
I also like the role playing in Donkey Kong Country 3, Tyler.
Oh yeah, absolutely. God, if I could have just wished for a Mario 3 level skipping cloud, it would have made any of this game so much better. Because there's another level where your controls are reversed.
Oh no!
As you're trying, it's a water level with reverse controls.
Nope, I'm out. What was that in Rogue Legacy? What was the trait?
It was
where
was
everything
too.
was flipped.
Yep.
Oh.
Because I don't even like inverted controls when I'm like playing flying games and shit like that.
Well, I like them.
Wiley is a big fan because Wiley's an actual aviator, so he loves inverted controls.
Right.
I hate it. But there's that level, and then what was the last one that was so terrible? See, my mind is like Call of Cthulhu. It's partitioned part of it off to make my own reality.
It's protecting yourself. Yeah. You're rewriting your memories as we speak.
But it was mostly that lightning world was just. But you finally get through all three of them and
get to the castle.
Storm
the castle.
You fight the same boss from Mykonos again.
Okay, that's weird.
That's Chaos. That's the Chaos robot.
Oh, okay.
You fight it again, and this time when you beat it, it falls to the ground. A chain comes down and picks it up and drags it off, and then Wizard of Oz style, a curtain comes back and you see King K. Rool pulling levers, and he's dressed as a scientist this time. And he's like, "Oh no, that was you beat my robot made from my wife's best pots and pans." And then Dixie talks shit to him, and they go back and forth, and you fight him.
Okay.
And it's the least impressive of all his previous forms.
Why?
Because like before, he usually has like the large gun or something like that. He just has a propeller.
Okay.
And he flies back and forth, and you have to bounce off of him. You can't hurt him by jumping on him.
Okay.
So there are 2 ropes come down, and you have to jump off him to pull a rope, make a barrel come down, and you have to hit his jetpack.
Grab the barrel and throw it at his jetpack?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You do that twice for his first form. Uh-huh. And then the second time, he brings up sort of an electricity storm on the bottom of the floor. So you can't stay on the floor very long.
How the hell does he do that?
He just, these 2 balls of lightning come up, and then they'll just occasionally shock the floor.
So he's the one throwing lightning at you in that level.
Yep. Probably. Yeah, there you go. And so it's the same thing again, only you can't touch the floor very long. Get the barrel, throw it at his back. And then for the third form, he makes it where you can't touch the floor at all.
He makes it rain.
All
over Dixie Kong.
Just bare coins, just all over Dixie Kong. You can't touch the floor at all and have to jump exclusively on him from side to side to get the barrels to get his jetpack, and then he falls down. Game over.
That's it?
That's it. It's just him flying around. He's just flying around side to side. Doesn't really do anything else, but you get barrels to out of his jetpack. That's it.
Huh.
It was a huge letdown. As opposed to the other cool climactic fights that he's been in the other. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I mean I jokingly said it before, but I really think the designers just pumped this out because they wanted to work on the N64.
It did feel a lot less polished than the other 2 Donkey Kong games. So we talked about how the game doesn't look that great.
I feel like compared to the other Donkey Kongs, it's just not as crisp. It feels blurry and more pixelated. I mean, they're all kind of like that, but this is just, I don't know, everything's just it's not as tight. It's just like it's a clone of a clone. I told you I'd make my multiplicity joke.
I was waiting for the multiplicity reference.
Because if you're familiar with the Michael Keaton classic Multiplicity.
I'm not, unfortunately, but I know enough about the general concept of the movie.
So Michael Keaton clones himself so the clone can go to work.
Uh-huh.
So then he doesn't want to do housework either. So he makes another clone of himself. So he's got work clone that he makes very masculine and a brutish kind of guy. Then he makes Housework clone that is more of his feminine side. And then the two clones don't want to do like yard work. So they go and make a clone of themselves.
Right.
And the clone of a clone isn't right. The clone of a clone is challenged.
It's like a copy of a copy.
Exactly. Right. So that's what Donkey Kong Country 3 is, the Michael Keaton lawn mowing clone of the Donkey Kong Country series.
Okay.
So
I want to. When did Multiplicity come out?
It was a really long time ago.
Was it?
I mean, I had to be, maybe I was in middle school. Brandon and I used to make jokes about it.
Well, the reason I ask is because Bill Watterson did a Calvin and Hobbes series. I say a series. It was several strips about a story about Calvin making a duplicator, and he would use it to, he'd make a Calvin to go to school for him. And then he eventually made a Calvin for every day of the week to go to school for him. So he never had to go to school. And then his clones started making clones of themselves, essentially, to do all of their work. Mm-hmm. So he wound up with a shitload of clones. I'm curious if that came before or after Multiplicity.
We'll see who ripped off who. I bet the Bill Watterson was first.
I would also put my money on Bill Watterson.
But and the music didn't, like, I love the other Donkey Kong music. This just felt, it wasn't as upbeat or inspired. Like, I would just listen to it and just felt like, I don't know, like there was something behind the other two Donkey Kong, behind the music. Like, I can remember how it sounds when Cranky Kong is throwing the music box and like the Donkey Kong rap and like all that shit was like, It had substance to it.
Donkey Kong rap. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that shit. And
I forgot about that.
This game is just...
What's up with the sound? What's up with Funky Kong's song? Funky Kong song. Not to be confused with Cisco's hit, the thong song. the Donkey Thong song. It has like a little bit of like a vocal track or something to it for like 2 seconds. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't
It's like when you first go in to see him, it's like I hear this like, and then it like keeps going on with like regular music. Was this just me?
They might have just had an editing issue.
Go back, please, and like just go visit him because it's like, it's bizarre. It's almost like a ghost is trying to give me a message or something. Like maybe I play it backwards.
I'm like, damn, I don't hear that at all.
Did you know that the whole soundtrack was redone for the Game Boy Advance port?
That makes more sense because they're like, oh, this is bad.
This is bad, yeah.
I didn't know that, but it makes total sense because like the sound effects felt off and the I don't know. It's just, like I said, it's based on a good platform, so it is based on great games, so it cannot be a bad game. But it's just not nearly as good as the other games.
It kept a lot of the theme levels from Donkey Kong games, and I like that.
And there were more. It had the variation in the levels was pretty vast between the rope levels.
Yeah,
I don't like that they cut cart levels, like I said.
Right.
Other than that,
I mean, like
underwater levels were pretty trite.
Yeah,
they were more like mazes, and then
But all in all, I mean,
the catfish, the piranha that would bite you to get to that level.
Is it the one that's following behind you and you feed it? See, it looks like you didn't like that. I loved it.
Well, I didn't know what was going on until like right at the end because I was just playing through. Like, I don't know what this guy does. I guess he clears out enemies for me. And then I would get to the point after a save barrel where he's flashing red.
Right.
And there's just not shit I can do to keep him from killing me.
Well, yeah, because he starts out blue, and as you go through, you can turn so that he'll eat other enemy fish and he'll stay blue. But as he gets hungry, he changes purple, and then he'll get orange, and then he's red. And when he's red, he'll just straight up eat you.
Mm-hmm. And if you feed him, if he eats shellfish, he'll turn red.
Right. He's allergic.
So it's
a common allergy we understand, but you don't need to eat us.
Just don't eat them then. I'm not making you eat them. But I didn't figure that out. I had no idea. I didn't figure that out until after the save barrel, and then I had to just be extremely fast and try to get him. It took me many, many tries to get through this gauntlet to get to a fish he could eat fast enough. Like, so many tries of him just load dead, load dead, load dead.
See, I didn't have a problem with it, but I like underwater Donkey Kong levels. There, I said it. I feel better.
Okay.
I just think out of all the games that have underwater levels, I think Donkey Kong does it pretty well.
That's true. It's better than Sonic.
Oh my God. Sonic, like, I don't know how I didn't die of an anxiety attack as a kid playing Sonic 2 on my Game Gear. There's a bubble. There's a bubble.
No, that I think Sonic. I said it. I think Sonic has the worst underwater levels.
Shit.
Yeah.
Taking it to task.
And then Mario levels, I've always been. They're not my favorite, but
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, the thing with
Actively
Mario
avoid
levels
them.
is you just roll through there with flower power, man.
Yeah.
And
Or Mario World, the cape, because
Yeah.
the sea floor and just spin your way to the goal.
But it's like, I think Donkey Kong underwater levels are more maze-like because you really, unless you have On Guard, the swordfish, there's really no way to fight anything under there.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know.
Because you can't grab barrels, you can't throw
Right.
barrels. You're just dog
Swimming
paddling
monkey.
along. Yeah. I don't feel like Dixie. I didn't feel like she was strong enough to carry her own game. You know, after
There, you said it.
Yeah, after Donkey and Diddy had like Diddy Kong Racing, like they kind of fleshed out who Diddy was, and then Dixie was just his second fiddle, and then now she's the star in her own game.
Did Puff Daddy just really like Donkey Kong?
Yeah.
Does that,
I'd wondered that myself. I looked into it like way back in the day, and they called him Puff Daddy because in like high school and middle school he was fat.
he was puffy. All right.
Yeah, and he would sweat so much,
Because
and
he
like
ate so much shellfish.
like white. He would sweat and like
He was just allergic.
big glossy in his white t-shirts.
He
and
was
they just-
Big Glossy.
He was big.
That's
and
a much
glossy.
better rapper name. Big Glossy.
Like I remember, they would just say he would puff up and get sweaty, and I remember Puff Daddy. I remember Brandon told me that a long time ago.
So what about P. Diddy? What happened there? He just liked Donkey Kong a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
And he I heard that at the end of every rap show he did, he would pull his baseball cap off his head and throw it in the air and catch it. Over and over again.
Look
and
side to side,
look
and
around
catch
and do
blink,
it again.
throw it again, and then he dropped the P and he's just Diddy.
Diddy.
He put on a red shirt, not have any pants on, come out, throw his hat up.
I've seen that. I've seen that on RedTube. That'll be the first Tadpog video, I think, should be you and I cosplaying Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong, where like one of us is just wearing a tie and the other one is just wearing a red shirt, just pantless. It's like that DuckTales. It's like that real life DuckTales video.
Yeah, that's what we'll set up. Like we'll hang a bunch of bananas from strings in your backyard, and we'll film us going through the level. And like you hold out your hands behind you, and I'll smack them and climb over you, and then we'll go through the level.
Butt ass naked.
Yep.
And then whoever's running the camera can like just pan over to my neighbors who are like just standing there watching horrified as two grown men jump around,
High five each other, and
collect bananas that are hidden all about the yard. We could do it on Easter.
Meg and Nikki be the bosses, just like throwing coconuts at us.
The
Yeah,
back of my head hurts from smiling so much.
we'll have to find a talented artist that find balloons with our faces drawn on them
Yes.
for extra lives.
I'm glad you brought up Extra Lives because I found on my own, I didn't GameFAQs this game, but I found several one-up loops.
I died a lot. I died a lot and never got under like 20 lives. It was just they made it hard and frustrating, but they
Sure.
gave you plenty of lives.
It was forgiving as far as being able to continue.
Like I said, there was always every 4 or 5 stages, probably every 4 stages, then there was a save cave, and then copious amounts of
wrinkly
save cave.
Was that Cranky Kong's? Is Wrinkly Cranky Kong's wife,
I assume so.
or maybe they're rivals?
Yeah, that's how she's exercising so she beat Cranky Kong.
That's why she needs all those banana birds.
Cranky Kong is above and beyond our friend John Null's favorite Kong. He's been screaming for years that it's not fair you can't be Cranky Kong in Smash Brothers.
I think Cranky Kong, doesn't it make sense he could have like his own puzzle game or something?
Yeah.
Like Cranky Kong's Crazy Kong puzzle.
Nice.
Cranky Kong's Crazy Kong puzzle. Coming soon.
Is he the original Donkey Kong from Mario? Is he the first?
I like to
the
think
first?
so, but I
Yeah.
don't know.
Because I remember I heard that that's who he is supposed to be.
Well, like I think in the first one he even makes mention of, like, back in his day, I think he makes a reference to the original Donkey Kong. I could be mistaken, but
listen, any TADPOG listeners out there, let us know if you have confirmation on that.
and we'll know, but eventually for sure, because we'll be doing Donkey Kong Country on IGN's list.
2 and 1, yep,
Yeah.
they're all on there.
I don't know if I can get 100% completion again.
I mean, I don't. This game should definitely be on the list.
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, I really think it's a lot better than some of the platformers we've played.
Yeah, because it is a totally a solid platformer. It's just comparing Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross. It's just it suffers from much better predecessors.
Sequelism.
Yeah.
I tried looking online if there's like a decent argument for why sequels are typically worse than the original movie. And I mean, the reason I've always thought was, a sequel is just extending something that was successful to make more money. I mean, that's totally what this game felt like. It didn't feel like, it felt like it was just made to make money.
Yeah.
It was made well.
Like, I feel like Diddy Kong's quest was like fans wanted more. Let's get more. This was like a last minute cash grab for the Super
Yeah,
Nintendo.
it does. And I honestly, to an extent, I remember playing Donkey Kong Country 2 and even thinking, well, the first game was successful, so of course they'd make a second one. But at least the second one was made well still, but it also felt like a thank you game. Do you know what I mean? Like Donkey Kong Country 2 felt like a thank you to everyone who loved the first game so much.
Yeah.
This one, Donkey Kong Country 3, just felt like you said, it just felt like a cash grab.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it wasn't well made. I think it was designed well.
They mixed it up enough with different levels
Yeah.
and things like that. Made it where the animals, you could use them in new different ways. I don't think it landed necessarily, but I mean they tried to make it fresh. I can
Sure.
respect that.
I don't know if, honestly, I think Aladdin may be better than this game, in my opinion.
I completely agree. I think there are a lot of games lower on the list that are better than this, but yeah, it is what it is.
Tyler, do you have achievements for this game?
I do have achievements for this game. I looked at you, looked at my list, and I've got 2.
Please, I know you're going to take mine because I just came up with one, but I can tell it's one of those that's just it's the low-hanging fruit.
It's obvious for
Yeah.
us. There's always money in the banana stand.
That's not it, but I
Okay.
love it.
There's always money in the banana stand. Is you get that when you collect 1,000 bananas.
Okay, awesome.
And the second one is the McDuck Vault. And that is you get every bonus coin and DK coin in the game.
Shit. Mine is, you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
King Kong.
Yeah,
And that is getting 100% completion.
that's good.
And I'm trying to also think about, let's see, I don't know, something about, I always think banana costumes are really funny. I don't know why, especially when you see a guy in a banana costume just doing something regular. I just think it's hilarious. Like I saw a photograph on Reddit. Someone had posted, it was after Halloween. It was like November 1st, and it's a guy sitting in a parking lot in a banana costume looking wistfully at the sunrise and smoking a cigarette. I mean, it was just the funniest fucking thing to me whatsoever. But something about a man in a banana costume.
It's absurd. You enjoy it. You enjoy absurdity.
I do. Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
I'd like to say we've had a lot of fun tonight.
I also enjoy feeding Matt Barker's negativity cloud. Love it. Love it.
See, I'm trying to stay positive. Like Miller even mentioned the other time that we recorded, he was like, "You're always so positive, Dave." And I just kind of feel like I'm not really, but I kind of want to like play as a counterpoint to like all the negative things that you're saying.
Yeah, I mean-
you're changing me, Tyler. You're changing me as a person.
Because normally it's the reverse.
Yeah, it really is the complete opposite. I'm super negative and you're very optimistic. But Tyler, besides changing me as a person, we've had a lot of fun today. Let's wrap it up. You ready to call it? Before we leave, I want to ask you some very important questions. If you were to assign this game some form of beard that encapsulates everything about Donkey Kong Country 3, what kind of beard would that be?
Well, it's a goatee, of course, no mustache, just a large goatee, and it's
Soul patch?
not quite a soul patch. It's broader. It covers the
Okay,
whole chin.
okay.
And it's expansive, and it's very well trimmed. It's very well manicured. It's very popular in like the early 90s. Like everybody likes it. But when you keep it for so long and it falls out of fashion, and like the longer you have it, it's just not as good. It was good when it was popular, but you just keep it. You just keep this well trimmed, well manicured goatee that looks ridiculous in like the late 90s.
A cranky goatee.
A cranky goatee.
Very well thought out, sir. If you were to give this game a pair of glasses, what kind of glasses would that be?
So we've discussed Goosebump books.
Yeah, we have. Have you read R.L. Stein's new book, by the way?
No.
For adults? Apparently he wrote a horror book for adults. I can't remember what it's called. I'll look it up and tell you about it because I want to read it. I've heard it's mediocre.
Yeah.
But I really want to read it.
Because I've read his Goosebump books are for kids. Fear Street is for teenagers.
Right.
So yeah, I have to read his adult whatever
I
adult
can't
one that he
remember what it's
has.
called. I saw it on Amazon the other day.
I'm glad he evolves with his readers.
Man, I want to read it so bad. Mainly just because I want to see how adult it is, and I'm willing to bet you it just feels shoehorned.
Yeah. He
Like,
just,
it's
he
like
just puts Goosebumps with sex.
Right, exactly. That's totally what I expect. Where it's like, he came home from the carnival and then fucked his wife. And then a scary man showed up.
Then a dummy in the closet rattled the light.
I submit for approval to the Midnight Society. Wife fucker dummy box.
He had just brutal raw anal sex with his wife. They went into the refrigerator, opened it up, and grabbed what he thought was a can of beer. Didn't see that somebody put a can of Monster Blood in the refrigerator. And he opens it up. R.L. Stein for adults.
After dark. R.L. Stein. Glasses. Sorry about that.
But the Goosebump book with the haunted mask.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the person who sells the main character in the haunted mask, he has a mask shop full of different kind of masks. So I want to give this a
as you find in every local downtown shopping
that
center.
you've never seen before that just
mask
happens
store.
to appear on Halloween. And I'm gonna give this. It has lenses in the mask.
Okay.
It's a zombie mask.
Okay.
And you put it on, and the eyes are. It's very, 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 very lifelike. The eyes are very lifelike. But since they're a zombie, they're just black, soulless, haunted eyes in this mask. So I give it soulless zombie eye glasses.
That was the fucking creepiest glasses you've ever given.
Yeah.
Why?
Because this game is soulless. The music and it's just
Right.
Donkey Kong with no soul.
Yikes.
Yeah. It's not bad. It's a Donkey Kong game.
No, that sounds awful.
It's got no life. I don't think it's got life
that
to it.
sounds, I'm not sure you understand how awful what you just described sounds.
Yeah, just no life to it. I can't go back on it. It's out there.
I demand a retraction. I'm scarred emotionally from your glasses.
There, I said it. It says because we maintained eye contact in the entire description. That's probably what made it creepier.
And we're in Tadpog Annex still, so we're set up on a coffee table. So we were literally
And
like
all these masks on your walls.
yeah, well, it's the mask annex. And we're on this coffee table. We're literally like 18 inches apart from one another,
We're
just staring at each other.
Just black, soulless eyes.
And the mic stands aren't tall enough, so we're both hunched over.
If I could have only like Men in Black style, I looked at you and then blinked my eyes the other way.
Well, it's like I feel like we're almost in not an Extends, a Viagra commercial or something where it's like
Because we're both just rock hard. I too feel like we're in a Viagra commercial.
you know the one where they've got like separate bathtubs. That's like what I feel like. We're podcasting from separate bathtubs right now.
But then they just face each other.
Yeah. Can we do bath fog?
We still have Matt Barker's fan art. We talk about baths. See, we'll do it with like Dick Van Dyke. We'll have two separate beds we sleep in, then we'll go to two separate bathtubs. So when we burn Ernie in a few years,
Right.
it's gonna be great.
Oh God, the back of my head hurts from laughing. We gotta end the show.
Just go full Bert and Ernie.
God, we gotta end this show, Tyler.
Well, I've got people to thank.
You got people to thank?
So
who's Bert and who's Ernie? I'm Bert. I have to be Bert.
Yeah,
All
there's
right,
no
okay.
doubt.
All right.
Look at me, Dave. I'm Ernie.
I am Ernie, a biography of Tyler Holland. We got the equipment to do the audiobook. Let's go ahead.
So for Facebook shares, Lord Mike of Purdue, Lord Matt of Barger, I guess that works. Marquess. I don't know. So it's a Marquis is a male and a Marquess is a female. So Marquess Nicole. Do you like that better than Marquis? Marquess Nicole. For Twitter, Lord Mike, Marquess Nicole. 5-star reviews. I'm a little confused because I know.
Yeah, I know. I noticed.
Masterpiece and Anna Fritz 9 had left us 5-star reviews in the past, and now they popped
Months
up
ago.
again. So I guess, I appreciate
Yeah.
if you're doing them again. I
thanks for doing
appreciate
it
the
again.
interest. Yeah, we don't get extra reviews, but I
Right.
appreciate the enthusiasm.
I'm
We
glad to
like
know
it.
you're still listening.
Because Rub Gooch, who also won an award, RG Countdown Rub Gooch. I haven't heard anything about them collecting their coins. They're just sitting here. And then a new one for Kribo's Boots.
Karibo's Boots.
Kribo's Boots, interested in the contest, gave us a 5-star review. Can't fault them. We said it.
Right.
Give it to him in a contest. We don't care.
Yeah.
Really enjoys the podcast.
I love this.
So we talk, if you like video games and buttholes in a 40 to 60 ratio, this is for you. Okay, if you had said 40-60 dicks, totally valid, totally understand. I don't think buttholes place that much.
I don't know. We have a whole phrase revolving around buttholes. It's a church basement. I mean,
Yeah. It was actually that's.
okay, if it was 20.
I thought it was a butthole, but it wasn't. 40-60 mistaken buttholes.
false butthole.
Yes.
A prosthetic butthole. What do you do for a living, sir? I fashion prosthetic buttholes.
Fleshlight makes them, so there's a market.
Yeah, but man, can we talk a minute about how creepy fleshlights are?
Yep.
Like just to look at?
Yep.
Like the nondescript hole one?
Just the slot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of creepy. A little creepy.
Give me that mouth. No. Vagina. No.
The mouth ones are
Butthole?
weird too because it's just like, I don't know. They're just kind of
Give
weird.
me a robotic Lincoln Log slot. That's what I want. But thank you, Kribo's Boots. You are entered into the contest.
Yes.
For that contest, you can get a Mario Galaxy coin, a shitty book,
A Goosebumps book.
a shitty book, and a Goosebump book. You might maybe
so two shitty books.
or if you like D&D, maybe we'll do that D&D game. You could win the seat in the TADPOG D&D
You.
game.
No.
It could be you want to run the torch game.
Torchbearer.
The torchbearer
You wanna do a
game.
torchbearer
It could
game?
be the slot for torchbearer.
All right, maybe I'm in.
We've got all sorts of tabletop RPGs. We'll give you a
do.
list.
We have a lot to choose
You
from.
pick which one you want to play.
No, we
and we'll-
picked the fucking game. Don't you? Come on, Ernie. You're giving them way too much leeway.
Bert.
No, you French Ernie.
Rubber ducky. I haven't seen Sesame Street. I'm going off memory.
All right, that's what. All right, I'll give you my Bert.
And then John Sullivan. Oh, great. Give it your Bert.
What do you have to say about John Sullivan, Ernie? That's how I remember Bert.
Bert.
He's a very gruff.
He sent us some great artwork that he made for charity. I don't know if it's for us or we just give them away. We really like them. They're very awesome.
Yeah, I want to keep them.
So maybe we can part with one.
I don't know.
One piece of
I
John
want the full
Sullivan's
set.
art.
So if we do a game for the listeners, then I'm not giving this art up.
We'll post pictures of it because you guys at least need to see it.
I like it a lot.
No one's eerily silent. No one didn't talk to us, but no one also had really positive things to say. So we have no eerily silent or kind words.
It
was the neutral planet. People were neutral toward us. They told us hello.
Yeah, tell my podcast hello. The autobiography of Dave Moore.
Thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes or Stitcher, so you don't miss the next episode. We'll be talking about IGN's. I'm gonna say this very slowly so you can look it up. IGN's.
Slower.
I don't know what IGN stands for.
I don't know either.
International Gaming Network's 57th ranked Super Nintendo Entertainment
Slower. I
System
haven't pulled it up yet.
game
Stall.
that came after 58 but before 56.
Earthworm Jim. Earthworm Jim.
Nice. All right. We should have known that one. That's a good one.
Yes, it is.
Fucking, we're going to talk about Earthburn Jim next week.
I can't wait. Matt Barger, please call in. I know you don't normally like to call in, but please call in. I've got so many good memories of playing Earthworm Jim with Matt. Like I can't think about Earthworm Jim without thinking about Matt Barger.
I can't think about you and Josh, because Josh was a huge fan of the cartoon. But I'll save the cartoon commentary for the actual episode.
This is going to be a good episode.
Yeah. So don't miss the next episode. Find us on iTunes. Find us on Stitcher. While you're there, don't forget to subscribe. Give us a 5-star review. I listed all the prizes. You get one of those.
Maybe. We think the deadline's around Thanksgiving. so
Something like that,
Try to
yeah.
work that in to your busy schedule.
Yep.
Don't worry, guys. We will be back next week with more Tadpog love, more than you can handle, honestly. I'm a little concerned for your well-being because we've got so much fucking dick, butthole, Muppet on Muppet talk. You can just
Love.
I mean, really. If you can't wait for that, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/tadpog, or why not go to tadpog.com, check out the show notes there, or give us a call. Call Tadpog Hotline at 270-883-2555. I still haven't memorized this number. As long as we've been doing this show, I have not memorized that number. I have to look it up every time. I don't have a stinger. You want to give me something?
Yeah, because we don't want to take out any of that Bert and Ernie shit.
No, hell no. I'll leave that Bert and Ernie shit in.
I'm trying to think of Ernie. Rubber ducky taking a bath. Now that's the Grease song. I don't know where I was going with that.
Not only that, your Ernie sounds distinctly like your Anthony Weiner.
I'll work on my Ernie. I'll go home and watch some Sesame Street and work on my Ernie.
I'm not working on my Bert because, as far as I'm concerned, Bert sounds like this. A monster.
Bert sounds like he's burly. Bert. That's it.
That's the show? We're good.